When I first heard about the Ma'Khia Bryant case, I thought, oh no, here we go again. Another shooting. They're going to be mad as hell. I then watched the footage and thought, wait, surely they can't complain about this one. If you can't remember what I'm talking about, take a look.
Hey, get down, get down, get down, get down.
Okay, so again, she's got a knife. She's trying to stab the girl in the pink, and the police officer really quickly pulls out his gun, ends the threat, and I thought, okay, no problem here, right? Black Lives Matter can't complain about this one. After all, she's getting ready to stab a black female. Well, I was wrong again. Has BLM jumped the shark on this one? Hello out there. I am trying to get through.
With his powerful brainwaves cradled in the warmth of reasoning, it's time for Johnnie Walker Dread to straighten you out on a thing or two. Emanating all the way from exciting Las Vegas, Oklahoma, it's the Johnnie Walker Dread Show.
Here's a typical response I found on Twitter. This is a lawyer, so you figure, oh, this is going to be reasoned and logical. Let's try it out.
You know what? I've been sick of hearing all these conversations about Ma'Khia Bryant, and every one of y'all are wrong. So let me end this right now. Shouldn't have to spell out the reason why a black girl deserves to live, but because I see that y'all don't get it, let me spell it out.
Okay, so first of all, she says, you all are wrong. Wow, okay, so we're going to get a different version than everybody else. Interesting.
Bryant was a 16-year-old black girl who was in a foster care home. Now let's talk about how she got into that foster care home.
Yes, let's. Okay, so now we're going to dive into all of the troubles that she went through and all the things that happened that got her into that racist foster care system, right? No, we're not.
Let's talk about this system, okay? So I am a criminal defense attorney, a prison abolitionist, and I'm anti-racist. I was in law
Yeah, that doesn't have anything to do with the argument, but okay.
school. I did an externship with Judge David C. Mason at a juvenile court. And
Congratulations.
when I was in juvenile court, guess what I learned? That the kids aren't just there because they're accused of something or trying to be adjudicated. Kids are in juvenile court because they are in the foster care system.
Well, nobody is claiming that she was in foster care because she had committed crimes. That's a new one. Is this a straw man argument? Because I have not heard that.
A lot of people talk about the school to prison pipeline, but there's another pipeline. It's the foster to prison pipeline.
There's another one that's called the crime to prison pipeline. That's what happens when you do a lot of crime and you end up going to prison. And the way to shut off the crime to prison pipeline, don't do any crime. You know what? The laws are clear. You know when you're doing something wrong. Don't do those things. Don't steal. Don't hurt people. It's not hard.
And when you're in the foster care system, you're in court and you're treated similar to how you would be treated as if you were being adjudicated for a quote-unquote crime. They don't call them crimes for juveniles. When she was 13 years old, was in the juvenile court for foster care. At that time, they placed her with her grandmother, her maternal grandmother. Her and her siblings were in her grandmother's care.
Okay, so we completely blew over why she was having to go into the foster care system in the first place, even though she told us at the start that that's what we were going to talk about. And the reason why she doesn't want to talk about why Ma'Khia Bryant was in the foster care system is because it's a very unpleasant truth and actually shows the root cause of all the problems that are taking place with her.
Like the book Shattered Bonds, which I'm going to post below, it stated that when black kids and black mothers and black grandparents are in the foster care system, that they have barriers, racial barriers, and they don't understand certain things.
Okay, so you're going to explain examples, right? You're going to give us examples of what those barriers are, right? No.
While she was with her grandmother for 19 months, there was an opportunity for her to stay with her grandmother. But
actually, that's not true. The landlord threw the grandmother out, and therefore the opportunity to stay with her grandmother dissipated. For you to have foster kids in your home, you have to have a home. And why did the landlord throw them out? Was it because of the racist foster care system? Did the state contact the landlord and say, what, you have black people in your home, and those are foster kids. We're really racist. I think you need to get them out of there. No, that's not what happened. The landlord found out that the grandmother had the kids in the house. That probably broke some sort of lease, or maybe the kids were tearing the hell out of the place. Whatever the case, it wasn't the state.
But because of the recommendation from the foster care system, they recommended that she be removed from her grandmother and placed within the custody of Ohio. Once she became in this custody, she was then placed within this home that she was at in Ohio.
Right. Okay. So she can't go back to the mother because the mother is a absolutely terrible parent. Horrible parent. Can't take care of the kids. She can't go with the father. The father hasn't been in Ma'Khia Bryant's life at all, as far as I can tell. He wasn't living with the mother when she was living there at home. She can't be with the grandmother because the grandmother doesn't really have a house anymore. Where else is she going to go? So they're going to place her with somebody. This isn't the state's fault.
At this home, Ma'Khia Bryant had multiple issues and multiple problems in which
Okay, so she had multiple issues and multiple problems. How many of those issues and problems were caused by her? And that's something that we're assuming that all of these things were heaped on her. But I have a feeling that she was a part of it as well. It looks to me, just reading what took place here, is that she was kind of hard to handle, and her sister too.
Called and wanted help from the state of Ohio, and she called the police for this help. She did not get this help. Now this happens a lot because once you become a foster care, is that this racial barrier and this school to prison pipeline and this foster care to prison pipeline and the way that they treat foster kids, that you're more likely as a foster child to get adjudicated.
Okay, I just want to stop this for a moment to explain. The police were called. The police can't do anything. There has to be a crime committed. The police can't just pull her out of the foster care home because there is some conflict. The police can refer that to a district attorney if there is maybe an issue that the DA can do, but the police have no power, no authority to do that. It's not because of any racism.
To then age out and then go to prison. You're also more likely to have...
Okay, so they're going to go and age out and go to prison if they have committed crimes. Okay, so this whole idea that you're in the foster care system, so when you get done with the foster care system, you go to prison. It's false. You have to commit a crime and be convicted of it first. So don't commit crimes.
Negative encounters with the police or get killed by the police, the same way that Ma'Khia Bryant was killed.
Yes, and you're more likely to get killed by the police if you try to stab somebody while they're there. You see, that's where she's missing here. She's trying to use the average to explain what happened to Ma'Khia Bryant. You can't. Ma'Khia Bryant wasn't killed by the police because on average that's what the police do. She was killed by the police because she tried to stab a girl while they had the guns on them. It's not a racism issue, especially given that she was trying to stab a black female. People kind of tend to forget about her.
So what you're telling me is that we failed, that the city of Columbus, that the state of Ohio, and that the United States of America failed kids like Ma'Khia Bryant every day.
No, the parents failed Ma'Khia Bryant. Okay, let's be clear here. Enough of this crap. Who failed Ma'Khia Bryant? Her parents. Her dad didn't even live at home. He didn't raise her. When she was placed in foster care, he would normally have taken custody of her, but they're not going to give her to him. He's got a fairly lengthy criminal record. Okay, so yeah, putting her in with him was kind of risky, especially when you saw his behavior on that day when the police came by and shot Ma'Khia. He was trying to kick a girl in the head. He's an asshole. Her mother had basically just a really rotten parent. She's also been in trouble with the law a little, but she even admitted, and I'll read this a little bit later, that she couldn't handle the kids. So who failed Ma'Khia Bryant? The two parents. And I would also say that Ma'Khia Bryant kind of failed Ma'Khia Bryant. The police are there. You have a knife. You know better than to try to stab somebody with the police right there. You know better than to try to stab somebody at any time. It's attempted murder. It's against the law. You don't have to even have great upbringing to know that. She knew she was doing wrong when she did it. She didn't care. And so Ma'Khia Bryant bears a lot of the responsibility for what happened as well. And I would suggest when it comes down to it, The parents and Ma'Khia Bryant probably share almost all of the blame for what took place, not the racist system.
By putting her in a system, taking her away from her family, putting her in a dangerous situation in a home, that now that foster care home where that murder happened by that cop, all the kids are removed from that home and probably sent to another home where they're further be victims.
So the cop committed murder in her mind. I mean, look, even if you felt that the shooting was unjustified, it's clearly not murder. The cop didn't pull up that day to kill Ma'Khia Bryant. And he didn't shoot her to try to kill her. It's pretty clear to any rational, sane person that the police opened fire to try to prevent Ma'Khia Bryant from stabbing that other girl. And for you to just simply ignore all that and claim he's a murderer, you're a criminal defense attorney? How would you like to have this person as your defense attorney? Wow.
So we're talking about the most vulnerable of our society, Black foster children who have been removed. She could have stayed with her grandmother, but for the court saying that the relationship between her grandmother and her mother was problematic and blah, 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 blah. It doesn't.
The blah, 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 blah. No, that is actually kind of important to understand. If there is a relationship that's problematic, that might have prevented a foster care relationship from working.
Matter. They removed her from her family and they placed her in a foster care. And when that police officer killed her, he intruded on the state of Ohio children custody foster care system. They had custody over her. He was out of line.
This is a lawyer talking. Really? Really? Are you out of your mind? Where did she get her law degree?
And you're out of line if you think that she deserved to die. Period.
Nobody said that she's deserved to die. That's not the issue. The issue here is, was the shooting justified? And was the shooting a result of racism? I see no shred of evidence to back those claims up.
Period.